Oh, the weather will get hot again. So,
Right,
yeah.
right. We have, Captain, I've concluded the investigation,
Yep.
and so that's why we're meeting with you today. And we have a memo prepared. You can take your time and read through that, please. Okay, there's.
Lauren, at least I have to correct one thing. There's a date. I did not catch this in my review of the memo. The date of the comment that Philip made to Lorena in question was not on November 1st. It was prior to that.
Okay.
I don't want him to be confused while he's reading that. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that correction.
Alright.
Okay. Okay.
So
what is this considered? Just a
this
write-up?
is an opportunity for us to address and improve the problems that have arisen, and it's an opportunity for you to take steps toward making those improvements.
Okay. Do you feel I have since our last meeting on this?
I haven't had not any time. I haven't been. I don't have an answer for that question. I have not been in discussions with anybody about anything since those meetings. I'm speaking of the meeting that we had with you on when the investigation started. I have not discussed this situation with anybody. I have not been privy to observe yours and Lorena's interaction. I have, I don't have an answer to that question.
Okay. Now, as far as Lorena's claim of harassment towards her, where does that stand?
Say that again.
Did Lorena file like a charge of harassment, or she didn't?
Well, she's made complaints. To Kathy.
And at that point is when I was trying to handle the situation internally.
Okay.
And at which point, when I received,
she met with 13th, you on the 13th,
I realized that when I met with you on the 13th, I thought that I had handled it internally. When I received your letter, it became evident that it had not been handled. So,
okay. What I'm getting at is that was that substantiated as well, as far as her claim of harassment?
Well, if you read through...
the claim that was substantiated was that you're insubordinate.
Right.
Okay.
And that is, you could interpret that as being harassment, but insubordination is what it was determined.
Okay. And can you define what, from now on, what subordination means, as far as being subordinate to Lorena?
What do you think it means?
Well, from what I gathered from the last meeting, you just want me to follow the rules, or follow her mandate, regardless of anything.
I think I stated in here that other people have said that she changes their work and there's a discussion that's had. I think I've discussed with you that when I need to change her work, we have a discussion, and we are able to do that in a civil-mannered, even-tempered, professional tone. From the discussions that we had with people in the department, that tone is not always followed by the two of you, and that you are the instigator of the raised voice and the insubordinate of the negativity. And so, sure, there's a room to discuss. We've been discussing all week. I've been working with you all week on the 5 Ps. I can tell sometimes you don't agree with what I'm saying about, the approach, but we do promos differently than you may have done them at previous stations.
Mm-hmm.
We take different angles. We take different tacks. I have a different philosophy, and it's my philosophy that I have entrusted Lorena to execute that guides the marketing of the station. That way, it is my fault if we fail. It is Lorena's response. It is not fault. It is my, that's my job. That's Lorena's job. If I've got people and she's got people that are not following our direction, and then we, following our direction, then it's just impossible to do.
That's not how our company structure is.
That's not how our company structure is.
It's not your role as a producer.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the role
No, the thing is, well, when we have the discussions, we always trying to get to this point. And with Lorena, it was always she kept pointing out this one specific point, or this little point of it that really was superficial in the end.
That's your interpretation.
That's what's got to stop.
One frame.
No, she did not tell you to change one frame. I asked you for the specific example of one frame. I discussed it with her pointedly. I told her that was unacceptable for her to be, or it was unreasonable for her to respect a one frame change. She said absolutely not. She did not request a one frame change.
Well, she was dishonest on that, or she doesn't remember.
Okay, can you tell me exactly what project it was?
No, it's,
okay.
Everything
okay,
is so blurred.
There you go.
You want you want me to go down into my cubicle, jot down every little instance?
No, we don't. What we want you to do is going forward to
Well, that's why I'm trying to get to this point. You said it's not acceptable for that one frame change, but you don't want to take it at face value as far as what I said.
I needed a specific example of if you asked.
If that's to remedy that, I have to.
Philip, listen.
Yeah,
if this one frame change was such a big deal to you, you should remember what spot it was on. And you can't remember what spot it was on. She says absolutely it would be unreasonable to request a one frame change. She was questioned at length about that particular point that you made, and we're not going to dwell on the one frame change.
Okay.
No, we're not.
This is an overall. This is not related to any one.
One little incident. This is the results of the overall investigation, and to her concerns and to your concerns. And I think this pretty clearly lays out what the results were.
My other concern, though, is before we left last time, you gave me your opinion of my conduct, and you said I was. You thought it was basically full of myself. Is that correct?
I don't think that Lisa said that.
Not to watch in the words. I'm paraphrasing here, but it's basically. You thought I was the one that was arrogant when I was bringing up the other arrogant position of Lorena. No.
I'm sorry, I don't recall exactly what you're talking about.
Well, basically, you had an opinion. You formulated an opinion already by the time we left.
No.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know what you're referring to.
All right.
I didn't have any preconceived opinions, if that's what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm trying. I'm sorry. I'm trying to articulate that. I just want to make sure that.
No, I mean, we clearly let you know that that's why we wanted to do an investigation into your concerns. We wanted to be sure that there wasn't anything that we needed to correct in terms of your supervision that were leading to issues. If we had a preconceived version, we wouldn't have gone through this process, which was a
pretty thorough, time-consuming
process. And the that's why this is in place at the company, so that we get truthful information. It's not helpful for us to act on, untruthful information and let problems continue. So, yes, don't be concerned that was the case, because that certainly was not.
All right. Good. How does this affect my status within the company, by the way?
Philip, this is what I say to everybody that I have to reprimand for any reason whatsoever, whether it's whatever reason. You need to take this, you need to read it, you need to understand it, you need to realize where your areas for improvement are, and you need to focus on those and improve the situation. And if you do that, it doesn't impact your status with the company at all.
Right.
If you continue to display the behavior that has been described that was described during this investigation, it will impact your status with the company. Right now, this is your opportunity to make improvements on the way that you work within our environment as a team member and treat your supervisor, and it's your opportunity to improve things and move on. That's what this is. It doesn't have any status on your employment with the company whatsoever unless things don't improve or unless the behavior is continually repeated.
Okay.
And my advice to everybody is to sign this, take it for what it is, and take steps to improve yourself in this area that's been identified as an issue.
Do you have an envelope?
Mm-hmm.
So this won't serve as a black market if I'm trying to move within the company?
Well, it's noted that this was an issue. It'll be placed in your file. But yes, if it's rectified, that's all. That's the goal.
Okay.
We want healthy work environment in the promotion department.
And I'm not going to tolerate anything less.
So arguing and debating about changes that are requested is not to that end. So that thought process or process that you have been going through with her when changes are requested must be adjusted on your end to accomplish what's being required.
And if you, again, there are ways to make your point without raising your voice, without, escalating into an argument.
And once your point's been raised, if either Kathy or she says, "No, this is what I want done," that's when you do it. Okay. We don't continue this back and forth.
I'm sorry. So just I can still make my points, just don't raise my voice. Is that what
it is? This is not a black and white. If you're trying to make this a real black and white.
This is I'm trying to get exactly what you guys are
you
asking me to do.
You must follow the direction of your supervisor managers without being unprofessional. You must do so in an appropriate manner, which means not being argumentative, not being difficult.
Well, that's very subjective. That's a very subjective.
I mean, this investigation.
To bring up. If I can bring up points, maybe they're not privy to. That because usually the producers are closer to the situation than you or Lorena. So if sometimes you have to bring up the points maybe information you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Creativity and promotion is a very subjective thing. Okay. And there are many ways to approach it, and the way that you're approaching it sometimes is not the way that we approach it as a department or as a station. Whether it's the angle you're choosing, or whether it's the stories you chosen, or whether it's whatever it is. And when Lorena and I make a point, I've made several points with you this week, I can give you examples of what I'm talking about, if you'd like for me to, with our own interactions. Glee, I would never promote football in Glee, and I told you why you would promote football in Glee. Yesterday, the whole hash brown thing, it's like the absurdity of the fact that somebody called 911 over hash browns needs to be said in the promo from the way I promote the station, not teasing what it was about, but teasing it was about over hash browns. And those are the kinds of things that when me or Lorena give you that direction, that's the kind of direction that okay, this is a strategy, it's a different way of thinking. It's not that your way is wrong, it's that this way is how we would rather do it.
And that's their role with the company.
That's our role, is to take a look
to do
at
that.
it. And,
they've been empowered with the role to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So you can make your point in that, what about this? How about that? I'd like to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they respond back, no, this is what I want, or you need to do X, at that point, then that's the direction given. You've already made your point. We then don't go back and forth and say, but I think it should be this way because, no, I want you to do it this way. No, but I think that's when it gets into
if that's the case, there's no issue then. There's no issue there if that's the point of the case on that.
You mean no issue going forward? Because that has been the type of interaction that the investigation determined, what I just described. So that's what I'm saying, that the behavior needs to change going forward in order for you to not be insubordinate and have professional relationship with your supervisors.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, put it that way, that's not an issue. It's just.
I mean, bottom line, you and Lorraine are going to have to work together. I'm not going to. I can't. I'm not. I'm going to be stepping back from the process more in the upcoming year to focus on bigger picture things. And in my position, I've got to be able to do so, and I've got to be able to know that you all are working together in a professional manner on both sides, without having to constantly worry that there's
friction.
There's friction.
Mm-hmm.
So she should be able to confidently come to you and say, here's what I need to request you to change or fix.
Okay.
Without expecting pushback and refusal or arguments, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the arguing is taking up a lot of time that could be better spent on getting things done.
Okay. Is that it?
Unless you have any additional questions?
No, it's just, I mean, if that's the case, I'm just, like I said, if that's the case, it should be a non-issue now. I'm trying to streamline everything to where we can produce product. Okay. That's fine.
Okay.